Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how I've been using Google Streak. Before I was using Teamsy, and I don't think there's honestly a bad way to track, besides I'm not a fan of pen and paper because I think it gets out of hand and you can't search things. But as long as you have a tracking system, I think that's what's important, and just stick with it consistently. But I've been kicking around switching to Streak for a really long time, and so I finally bit the bullet and made the transition. And so I've been doing this consistently for, I think, 2 weeks now, and I'm going to kind of show you how I'm moving things over from my current tracking system to here, all the ins and outs of how I've set it up and all that stuff. So feel free to ask questions and all that jazz. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to tell you like what I like about, actually I'm going to do that before I share my screen. So some things I like about, I like about Streak. I'm going to tell you the things I do and don't like. So I like that you analytically can see where people are getting stuck, which I'll show you. I like that you have a place to re-invite people. I didn't have that with Teamsy. I just didn't set it up that way. I mean, I guess you could have, but I did not. And I like that you have you can have a place like a hub to re-invite people, and I'll show you a couple different ways I mean that. I said it twice for a reason, but because it meant two different things to me. And I like that it's free. I like that you have the potential to do mass action from it. I say that because you would need their email address to be able to do that, but it does have the potential for some pretty awesome things. So let me now share my screen. Oh, and the thing I don't like is that it doesn't tell me day to day who I should follow up with. That part is a little bit more up to me as a business owner. Like that forced me to get a little bit more organized and systematic with the way that I'm going to be following up, but I think I'm going to like it. That part I haven't dived into yet because, like I said, I'm still making the transition. So oops, share my screen here. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like. Like I said, I'm about 2 weeks into transitioning over, and please don't pay attention to like people's info and stuff. But this is how I have two different pipelines. This is called a pipeline up here. You can set it up however you want. That's a really great thing, is that you can set it up the way your brain works. So for me, I always think of inviting from two different buckets. So I have two different pipelines, and my buckets equal pipeline. One is conversations to a client, and the other is coaching. And so my pipelines look different because I talk to people differently based on what they're interested in. So I'm going to start with coach because it's a little bit more basic. So I have these different, and I can add things. I can move these around. All of this stuff up here is whatever you want it to be too. So I have set up like that they're interested. That's like funnel one. And then once I ask them if I can send them info about coaching, or maybe they're in a coach sneak peek, whatever. It can be the same thing. It doesn't matter. That's where I have them in here. That's this coach sneak peek videos. Then we would get to like, I'd send them package options, send them a link. And then once they're signed up, they become a coach. Or if they tell me no, then I can put them in a not right now funnel. I just started adding this, and I really like it because otherwise this will get crazy with the amount of people that I invite. This, like I said, is only 2 weeks worth of data, and I already have like 50 people in my funnel here. So then I can move them to a not right now, so I can re-invite them at like a later month, whatever. You could put things with the dates in there. You can be whatever you want. Like, it's legitimately so much freedom. So I just have their name. This is automatic, the stage that they're in. It's obviously important. And then for the notes, I either have their Instagram handle or their email, depending on how I'm talking to them. Or if they're on Facebook, I just put an FB. So then I have different columns for my follow-up. So I do a different follow-up for a coach sneak peek follow-up. I'm like, what did you think of the video, of the coach sneak peek? Is this something you can see yourself doing? That's my follow-up. So once like these people I haven't done that follow-up with, so that tells my brain, and you can sort these. Like, I could sort it like that. And so then it would come up and all of the blank ones would be together. So I could very quickly see who needed that coach sneak peek follow-up. And you can clear it. So you could do the same thing here. Follow-up 1, 2, and I have through 7 because I do 7 follow-ups. If they get to 7, I will be moving them into the not right now, which is super easy to do. You just check the box and you can click this folder and you can move them anywhere you want. That's how you move them through your funnel. Anywhere. So let's say this girl is like, yep, I'm in. So then I sent her the packs. I'd move her to the packs. You can select as many, you can move them all at once. 31, let's say they're all not right now. So, I could do that. Move them all at once. So you can do more things in bulk, which I like. So if I knew like that I was going to do all of, I had it sorted to be all together and okay, I'm going to do all of these. So I could just do them and mark them as I go and then highlight them all and then do one mass move. It's a lot quicker than manually putting in everything that's how I was doing it in Teams. It was manually one by one. So then you can X that and they'll all go away. So some other things you can do is, let's say she decides that she's like, I'm not ready to be a coach, but I am interested in your boot camp. You can move them to a different funnel or a different pipeline. Doesn't matter what you call it. So you click that and you can click this folder and I can move them to my conversations very quickly. So then I just know that she's in a different space. And I could put that in her notes or whatever. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. Like these can be seriously whatever you want. I could add more. I tried having a different funnel for just follow-ups and that got like really messy because people go in and out of follow-ups for me. Like sometimes they're like at like Shaco info and then I follow up for the 4th time and they're like, okay, I'm in. You just never know. So that was getting kind of messy. And so I did away with that and just stuck with my 2 funnels and put all the follow-ups in here. So that's what that one looks like. Let me show you the conversations. So I have when they're interested or they filled out a form, and I have just the different parts of the script up here. So goals, videos, Shaco info, packs, sent a link, they either became a client coach or can move them to a not right now. So same thing you can, and I have in here, I have the different order follow-ups too. I'm obviously not following up with the people about ordering until they're down here in packages, or sent link. So you can see, but it's very interesting to see like where people are getting stuck. This doesn't surprise me that 70 people are stuck in they've said they're interested and now they're ignoring me. That doesn't surprise me at all. I knew that. Like, look at all of these people are in follow-up 5, 6, like, I said it's a little bit skewed because I haven't put in everybody yet, but, so it's just interesting if this doesn't surprise me either because that's where the money is, This is a lot, so I could decide if I wanted to try something different, but obviously no one's really getting stuck and no one's really getting stuck at Shaco info, So that tells me that I don't need to fix things there in my business because I couldn't see this info before, And so something I like in the, I think you can see, like if you click on their little box, it will pull them up and then you could add more notes. You can add magic columns and stuff. You just have to play around with it. I'm sure there's so much more than I even know that you can do on here. You can add a comment, and like if I wanted to say something about this person or whatever, it's nice to have that. These little boxes are great. When they have an email, this is really cool. When they have an email address, you can click it from here, click the arrow, and I can construct an email right from like a click of a button. And what's really cool is you can basically do donut texting on Google Streak, but it's called snippets. So I could either click in here, and I don't have all of them done, but I have different snippets, like parts of the script in here, and I could just click it. But also I could do donut texting. So if, let's say she's on follow-up 4, and I'm not actually going to send this. So I just get F4, it populated it for me in 1 second. So it's nice to have that on the computer too. My goal is to get everybody to give me their email. I hope, because you can also see when they've seen it and opened it. You can see if, so on my, let me show you this. On my virtual gym applications, it does have them fill out, I get their email first, and then I do ask for their Instagram handle, so I have a backup way if they're not seeing the email. So let me show you this person because we were talking, and it says over here, because I told it to have the boxes pulled up, and I can very easily move her through a funnel right within me chatting with her. I don't have to go back and forth and change screens, which is really nice. I don't know what that means. And you can have it alert you when you want to follow up. But if you use Google Calendar, it all goes to your Google Calendar and it gets really crazy. Like that's where you'd have to go to look for follow-ups, which I didn't like. So like I tried it, and so I was doing, you know, like I've always had a system, you know, but so it was having like 25 people to follow up with on this Wednesday, let's say, and that's a low number for me. So then it was like 25 tasks were showing up on my Google Calendar, and I just didn't like that. So I have set up a different way that I'm going to be doing my follow-up. So once I get everything moved over, which I'm going to show you how I move people over in just a second. But so how I'm doing it is I'll pick one day every week, and this is kind of how my schedule works anyway, so it just works out nicely. It just makes sense. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, because I do know why, because my previous system didn't allow for this. But so once a week, probably on Mondays or Wednesdays, because Leo goes to daycare on those days typically, every week I'll do my follow-ups 1 and 2. Or 2 times a month I'll do follow-ups 3 and 4, probably 2 Wednesdays, the second and fourth Wednesday. I don't know. And then once a month, I will do follow-ups 5, 6, and 7. Once they're at 7, I'll move them to the Not Right Now funnel. Just so I'm not doing follow-ups every day. I'd rather do them in mass quantities and then just move them on, you know? And then once the only things I'm keeping on top of like every couple days is once people have they've been sent a link or they've been sent a coach sneak peek video. Those are the people I am like on top of their butts because we're so close. So let me see. The donut texting on your computer is part of Google Streak. Like when you send an email, you can save it as a snippet. I could save anything as a snippet. Like, so I'm just like constructing an email, XYZ, I can come in here and say, make this draft a snippet, and then it will ask you if you want to make a shortcut for it. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen with you, sorry. Oops. So, let me get out of here. Cancel. So if I typed XYZ, I'd come, this is what the snippets looks like. Tracking is currently turned on, that's great. I'm getting a bunch of text on my computer. So I'd click the snippets, I could make this draft a snippet, and then I can name it. The shortcut is the donut text, so I could call it whatever, you know, it's not really a thing. And you can save it as a subject line, whatever. If you have a signature, you should take it out because it will end up putting it twice. I need to fix those on mine. So that's how you create the snippets. It's super easy and handy. Okay, so let me show you how I'm moving people over. This is probably the most time-consuming part. So I'm trying to do like 2 to 3 days at a time, moving people over. So if I'm moving this person over, I'm seeing that we've been talking on Instagram. Okay, we're talking about coaching. So I'm gonna put her in my coach funnel, and she watched the videos. I followed up with her for a coach sneak peek, and we've done follows 1, 2, and 3. So all I'm gonna do is copy her Instagram handle. We're going to my coaching one. She has watched the videos. Paste that there. I've done that 1, 2, 3, and when I follow up with her, she will be followed. So I'm actually doing the next follow-up. So I'm going onto my phone, and onto Instagram, or you can do it on Flume or IGDM, whatever. I just do it on my phone because I have donut texting, and I did this weird. So I'm sending that. Sent. So I did the fourth one, and I am logging it in here just in case I decide that that doesn't work for me. I don't want to like screw myself and be without a tracking system. So, but I am leaving it on default. I'm not setting a follow-up on Teamsy. I'm just then I'm going all in on Streak. So I would do that with all of these people. So here, I'll do one more. Oh, this girl actually filled out a coach application. Let me find one that has, okay. So she's interested in being a client. We have got to Shaco info. But she might be a no. I don't always, people say no. Oops. So I'm going in here. Oh, can't find it. Okay, so I'm going into conversations. You can click it, it will go right there, and then you click the plus sign and put their name in, but I can't. Automatically puts them where they are in the stage. Yep, she was a no. So I can just actually, I'm gonna just put her where she was, and I'm moving her folder to a not right now. And it will go when it feels like it. Okay, anyways, it normally works. So then I would just take her as, put her as a none, since she's in now. So I'm just still working through these. This is what I have left to do. So that's pretty much, oh, it did move her. See, it says right there, and it just hasn't loaded into the different column. Anyways, that's pretty much what I'm using for Streak. So will I do follow-ups 5, 6, and 7 on the same day, or they have their own day? I'll probably just do them all at once. It will be a lot, but I just want to do it. I want to set the frequency to be the same. So when I'm doing ones that are just once a month, I want them just all one day to do all of them. But it can be whatever you want as long as you have a system, you know. So I'm going to literally put in my planner the days that I'm going to be doing follow-ups 1, 2, follow-ups 3, 4, follow-ups 5, 6, and 7, so that I know what to be searching. I put my straight up no's in the not right now as well. Yes, the people who give me some sort of objection, I always just leave them on a follow-up schedule. And if I see, you know, like if it was their first follow-up and they're like a May, I'll probably just leave them, and then I'll be able to see that when I go to message them that maybe I need to wait another week. No big deal. So, let me show you two. In theory, let's say I had all of these. Well, I do have these two people's email, but let's say I had all these people's email. Okay, I could click that and then click. I could click something to send them all an email. You can just click everybody at once. So in theory, if I had 20 people that were all on the same follow-up, I could click all of them, send them an email, and it will not make it look like a mass email. It will look individual, but it took me 1 second to send it, you know? So that's in theory where it would be great to move to, especially since you're not having like the one-on-one conversation, you're just needing to touch base with them. So that's where I hope to move. What other, do you guys have other questions about this? So, oh yeah, search bar tip, good, Kathy. Okay, so since we're talking about follow-ups, to see your schedule for a month of follow-ups, like which ones I do each week. Yeah, so I do Follow-ups 1 and 2, I'm going to do every week, either on a Monday or Wednesday, just depends on when Leo's in daycare. Follow-ups 3 and 4, I'll probably do on the 15th and the 30th, or I mean, not 15th and 30th, that's how I'm thinking of it. The 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month, and then follow-ups 5, 6, and 7, I'll do all of those on like the 3rd Wednesday of every month. So I'm not doing follow-ups every day, I'm doing follow-ups like once or twice a week. And it will be a lot. It will be pretty much the equal amount of work, but just doing more batch type stuff. If that makes sense. Okay, let me show you. I forgot this. So yes, it doesn't have, this doesn't have like I mean, you can search in here, search mail, but if you haven't emailed them, it doesn't always like work that way. So if you do on my computer or on a Mac, it's Command F, and it will pull up the search bar, just like anything on like anything Google or Microsoft or whatever. It's a Control Find, and then you can just type Rachel. Okay, and then the people that have Rachel in their name, or I can do the same with an Instagram handle. If that's not that right one, you just click enter and you're finding the people that fit that criteria. So it has like a built-in search bar. It just looks different. Forgot about that. It was clutch. Thanks, Candy. What other questions? Like I said, you can set it up however your brain works. I've talked to a couple coaches who have like ADHD, and I agree, is probably not the best if your brain is like ADHD, because it's all in front of your face at one time and it's very easy to get distracted. But this is very much how my teacher brain works. I like being able to see everything. The analytical brain really likes to be able to see where people are getting stuck and like how I can work with that. How do you change the colors? Yes, let me show you. Because you want it to look pretty. So you can just click here on the little wheel. Whoops. False. Could. You might have to do it when you make it. Yeah, I think. I don't know. So I don't know. Oh, it's right there. Then you click the color and you can change it. So you can do that on any of them. I can make it whatever color. You can use custom colors, whatever. It pretty much, it starts to pick up on a theme. So if you pick a color you like for the first one, it'll pick up on a theme and it'll make it pretty. You guys have any other questions? I hope that helps to see me like switch stuff over, how I'm using it. So I'll let me show you one more time here. When the day comes, right now I'm just focusing on getting things moved over. So I'm doing the follow-ups that are showing me in Teamsy. So I'm basically still doing my old follow-up system, just when Teamsy tells me to do it. And then once everybody is switched over, then I'll be implementing my new follow-up schedule. So on every Monday, I'll just search this, or click that arrow, click sort by, doesn't matter which one you choose. And then I know that I need to do follow-up 1 with all of these people. See, it'll follow, or if I'm on follow-up 2. Doesn't look like I have, and I can do this, anyways. So you see, like, it'll be a lot, because I'll have to go through each column, because some of these people, like, they've gotten all the way to, I don't have anybody in Shaco, but sometimes people get, so these people, they get all the way to the link or to the packages, and I haven't unfollowed one. So I'll have to go through each column, but that's okay. And I'll have to go into coaching and do the same thing, sort each column, so that I can, and it will get you out of that search. You can have it sort any way you want. You can have it sort by name if you want in alphabetical order. You can do whatever you want. I like that there's just a lot more flexibility to do like the way your brain works. Yeah. Oh, I don't even know how to do the check or the check. There's ways, and like I said, there's so much you can do. Like when you add a column, you have, I'm not showing you this again. You have a lot of choices when you create like one of these columns, like what you want it to be. You can add tags, like there was that in Teamsy too. You can add magic columns. I don't know how those work super well, but they do extra things because they have like, oh, you can add like date created, date last updated. That'd probably be helpful. I actually should probably add that. Yeah. And I mean, you can add a ton of stuff. Email thread, I don't know why that would matter to me, but last email from, first email from, email address. I could add that in. So many things. It's cool, like I just added that column and it knew like the last time I talked to people, like it has people in here like that I talked to September 5th, you know, like that was when I put them in. That's the last time I messed with their column, their row, whatever. So that's what I have for Google Streak. Like I said, I don't care what anybody uses for tracking. Teamsy was my jam for like 2.5 years. So I know some people really like Asana. Some people really like pen and paper. Actually, one of the girls doing the push group, she's been a coach for a long time too, and she still uses pen and paper. And she's 7-star and locked in for elite. So whatever you use, just use it, be all in. But I'm excited to use Google Streak. I haven't been able to train on it because I didn't know how to use it. It frightened me. But I think it has just a lot of potential too. The only thing I will say, I really liked in Teamsy, I really liked tracking my weekly income, but I didn't use something else to do that. So much prettier. I'm glad with your colors. Yeah, it makes a difference. I know I want to like to look at it. So that's what I have for you guys. I'm really I'm gonna stop